Okay, so this is not the first time that one in a million is being done. That's funny. It's being done a million times. Let me ask you, every time you do it, it's usually cheers and joy. What's so good about it? What's great about your show?
Well, one of the great things about the show, the secret weapon, is right here on this interview, which is Valerie Chamberlain, um, who is just a voice to die for, an award-winning Broadway World actor for Best Actor in the role of Sele in Color Purple, and she's been in this show, and she's seen all the iterations of it. She just kills it every time. The audience loves it. So I would say great singing, really great music. The people respond to it, and we always keep it fresh and light, but with an important message. And we've really, I don't want to give it away, but we've really put in this cabaret a now message within the entertainment, sort of the story within the story that is going to resonate with where we are right now as a people and as a country. So we've always had those elements, but we always enhance it, so to speak, and we've done that again. So even people who have seen it before are going to see something that's fresh.
Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, let me ask you, I now hear that you've been with this a long time. Why?
And yes, it has been a long time. I was actually trying to calculate that myself, but it's been some years of doing this show, and every time that we do it, like Kevin said, it's this different, it's a freshness to it. And every time that he does it, there's a different element added. And this time it is very reflective of what we have going on right now. But the message is pretty much the same, which is keep the faith, through tough times and through tough decision making and things like that. Keep the faith. And I've absolutely learned that from Kevin, even just doing the process, not just doing the show on stage, but off stage too. It always keeps me coming back because so many people afterwards always come up to me and they're just telling me how important or how heartwarming it was, or there was a moment that touched them. And so it makes it absolutely just worth it, and rewarding to me as an actor too. So
Well, you're obviously seeing the rewards of this, but there's the big question. You mentioned that F word, faith. We're in the world where that's not the F word that people like to use. Uh, we're in a world where even sitcoms are using the other F bomb more than they're saying good morning. We're in a real,
right.
and to avoid being political, I'll just simply say nuancedly, we're in an odd place in the world right now. Um,
Yeah.
were you nervous when you first started this, like the audience wouldn't accept something with such a hopeful outlook, such a faithful premise? Were you worried that people would say, that's old fashioned or something like that?
Jay, I think that's a fantastic question. And to try
Yes.
to go through the iteration of the show, the show started out as a very small church play. And the initial thought was that using the church kind of as an allegory that people can't get along anymore. And this was before kind of, I guess, the current toxic environment we're in now. We're going back a few years, but I recognized that people couldn't get along anymore. So I said, if I use the church as an example where maybe people should get along and they don't get along, as an allegory to why everything falls apart if we can't get along. So that's kind of the first iteration of faith, and that it takes some element of faith to accomplish anything. And for example, I tell my cast, when my cast always come from many different backgrounds. There's some people, quote unquote, of faith, some people who are churchgoers, some people who are atheists, runs the gamut. And when I tell them all, listen, if you plan to be in this business, it takes faith to be in this business. You got to have faith to be in
He
this
says that
business
every time. Yes.
because there's no guarantee that you're going to get hired. There's no guarantee you're going to be successful. You have to have faith to believe that you're going to be able to make a living and make a mark in this business. So we look at faith on different levels from a very, you can look at it a parochial religious context. That's one element. But just in terms of to go in this business, to get up every day, to go to auditions, to go to a show. Nobody may come to your show. Nobody might like your show, but you do it anyway. Why? Because you have faith.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
You've been
Yeah,
around.
I agree with all of that.
Many casts come and go, and everybody seems to get along. So you see from within that the show survives on faith, if you will.
Absolutely. It survives on taking a gamble too. And that is literally everything with arts, you're taking a gamble, but it's funny because that's also what they're kind of doing in the show. They're making this decision, should we or should we not? But the base of it being about faith, everybody can relate to that. It doesn't matter your denomination or anything like that. What are you putting your faith in is the question. And are you putting your faith in people? If so, like, can you trust each other? Can we lean on each other? I mean, and you can apply that to just really anything. So it's nothing to be afraid of as far as, is it okay to have faith-based messaging in a show this day and age? It's a wonderful thing to do. It's much needed. And I think the more that we lean into that, and the more that we are saying, we're not afraid to be traditional and also like risky in some areas, the more that we actually grow, and we grow in society, and we affect more people, and we change lives. And that's what it's really all about.
You know, it's interesting. You're creating the moral of the story is sort of like in reverse. It's saying, okay, you think what we're doing is old fashioned. You think we're beyond this. Look at the world now and tell me that we can live without community. Tell me we can live without faith. How's that working out for us?
And we can't live without. I love that word that you use, community. I mean, community is so important. Even like the audience, I find that they kind of get this communal sense about them afterwards, where people are gathering and talking about the story, and you almost just want to invite everybody who's come to the show to a party afterwards, because it's this sense of community. We feel connected now. So I love that, because that's really what it's all about.
That's so cool. Does that actually happen? You get that you're almost hypnotized when you go into any kind of religious situation and you're sitting there in the communal area. By the time it ends, you're part of that community. You feel better. Your audience is uplifted.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And they walk out feeling a part of the show too, a little bit. There are some things that happen that, like, they will feel a part. So, and in a fun way, in a memorable way, and in a way that they'll absolutely go and tell other people, like, hey, you've got to see this. You've got to come see One in a Million.
The thing is, I don't want to give too much of it away, because I want people to come see it. Obviously, even people who have seen it before. Again, we've had a new twist to it, but we're looking at a world that is dysfunctional. We're looking at a country that is increasingly dysfunctional. We're looking at a country where people can't agree on anything, and they're becoming more and more agitated and distrustful. And when you take a step back and you look at a group of people and you see how that type of living impacts their life, you can laugh at them, but then realize, uh-oh, is he talking about them or is he talking about us?
There you go.
And I think that's really the charm, really, of the show. It's the entire show is an allegory, and um, to make it to put these people in the same church, as opposed to it could have been the Rotary Club, it could have been, um, any kind of organization, but traditionally, church is supposed to be a place of unity and love, let's say. So if that breaks down too, then what do we have? So so
That's a
it's,
really good point.
as I was saying before, it's looking at faith on many different levels so that anybody can identify it. We're not beating you over the head. We're not telling you what to believe per se, but I think we are telling you, what happens when everything breaks down, when you can't believe anything, when you can't trust anybody, when you can't work together anymore, what the inevitable consequences of that in an hilarious and telling way. Again, with a new element thrown in right out of today's headlines.
You're not telling people what to believe, you're just telling them to believe. And
Yeah.
and that'd be nice. If enough people said that, maybe it would actually happen again.
How
Uh,
about why can't we just believe in each other? Let's start there.
there you go.
As
Yeah.
um, we have a constitution in this country that, quite frankly, now is being challenged every day. People
Yeah.
don't believe in it. People don't believe in that anymore. People don't want to believe in that anymore. Um, so, so what will happen to us, United States, the world, if we all fall apart?
Yeah.
So
And I
if we
would
can, if
piggyback
we
too.
can,
Yeah.
if we can show it on stage, maybe we can prevent it from from happening in real life
Hopefully so. I was
with
going to
great
piggyback
music
off
and
of
great
that too.
comedy.
It's the belief that, just to finish that sentence, believing in people, you're believing that they will do the right thing. In having that belief that people will do the right thing puts us all under the same umbrella. It puts us all on the same playing field where, yeah, but we want to do the right thing and what's fair, what's just, you know, what is supportive of everyone, and we see each other. So having that type of belief, that's the thing that we have to work to restore, even like work to restore even outside of the church. The reason this is so applicable is to everything is because we all want to believe that there's still good in people and that they exist, and good people in the world want good things to happen to other people. Like that's the overall thing. And that right there goes, it doesn't matter the organization. It doesn't matter if this was a group of people who work together. It doesn't matter if this was a group of people who were in the same uh, fraternity or something. Do we want to believe that people still have good in them and they want to do the right thing?
It's sort of a cylindrical message. You're
Mhm.
saying we believe in you, and maybe they'll believe in themselves, and then they'll do the right thing.
Yeah.
I think people do the wrong thing because they think people expect them to do the wrong thing, or don't think they'll do the right thing, or something like that. I think if there's enough trust, then people become trustworthy. Now,
Another thing I like to add, another secret weapon, I think I'm going back to that original question. I'm thinking about what makes the show successful. The show is extremely diverse, and that was intentional on my part. Not tokenism, but extremely diverse. Every character in the show comes from a very different background just by, let's say, their ethnicity. But every character in the show has their bit. In other words, they all have a chance to shine. They're not just there for window dressing, just to say, "Oh, look, they have this kind of person or that kind of person." No, it's very much an ensemble cast where everybody gets to sort of shine. And
Right.
and here again, that's kind of uh, what kind of country do you want? Do you want a country where everybody can shine? Or do you want a country where only a certain group of people get a chance to shine. So that's not dialogue from the show, but when you see folks up there, we are sending that message.
I once heard someone give a speech, and they were talking about women's rights, but they were saying, imagine if women got the right to vote earlier, imagine if women were respected earlier, etc. And he said, what cures do we not have because we didn't trust women at that point? Or what successes do we not have because people were prohibited? And so for you to say everyone shines, it means everyone contributes. And yeah, that's what makes a wonderful world, and that makes grand assets. That makes cures, that makes success. Now we're talking all about this show, and we're saying, oh, this happens, and they gamble, and it's a leap of faith, and all of that. What's it about? What's the plot?
It's about a group of wacky friends who decide to pool their money to play Lotto. And they win the 999 million jackpot, which destroys their friendship until a young girl teaches them the real meaning of friendship.
There you go. They win. You know, I knew the general plot to it. They win. Okay. How very cool. You know, that's good. That's really good because, you know, to just say, oh, they pooled their resources and they hope to win and whatever. Okay, there's a nice message there, but they win. See what happens when you pool your resources? See what happens when everyone takes a piece of it? Excellent. Now you're taking another leap of faith. You're doing it on the stage of Don't Tell Mama Cabaret, which is one of the more legendary spaces. You're in the Broadway district here in New York. The audience is about 3 inches from the actors. They're going to feel you breathing. You're going to see them blinking. How does that feel?
Valerie, as a performer, what do you think?
I love it. I love spaces like that. I've performed at Don't Tell Mamas before, and that was fun. And you get to feel the energy of the audience a little more. You get to interact with them a little more. It makes them more playful. It makes us when we're in our characters, because our characters are kind of fun, and it makes it a little bit more like they're involved, in the show because you're right in front of me. So, you get to play along as well. That's what makes it, I don't know. It's those kind of audiences you always walk away remembering, and then people go and when they say don't tell mama, they will tell mama. They're gonna tell mama, daddy. They're gonna tell everybody. Like I got sweated on in the show. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but you're in there. So yeah.
Does that change, and I say this to both of you, does that change your process? Kevin, does it change your process? Like, do you look at your own show differently when you know that audience literally is going to see the belt loops on someone's costume? And Val, does it change your thought? Like, okay, they're right there. I can't, scratch my arm. I can't relax my leg because they're right there. Does it change your process?
Well, I think yes and no. It's a cabaret performance, so one of the things it is more relaxed because what the audience is going to be getting is a lot of the great music from the show, not all of it, but some of the great music from the show, and they're going to get a taste of what the show is like, a couple of really juicy bits from the show, so they can get the flavor of the show. So I wanted to be kind of relaxed. I want people to enjoy themselves. We're not going to worry too much about some of the things you would worry about in a full scale production. I think that particular place lends itself to just having fun and just letting people get an opportunity to see what the show is about. So if someone scratches their arm or whatever, I think given the talent that we're going to have up there, it's all going to work toward producing a really good performance.
Yeah,
It's sort of like, okay, if if I'm going to make sure that my pants aren't stuck in the crack of my butt, I better do it in character, I guess.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
Basically, because you know, even your breaks that you might have backstage when you're on a stage setting, like a larger stage or a theater, you know, like if I'm going to get some water backstage in a change, we're not doing that now. Like we're drinking the water in character and on stage,
There you
so that we
go.
can still get some. Yeah. So
This sounds so exciting. This sounds so necessary for people to see. This show has garnered Broadway World Awards. This show has been nominated for so many things. This show, when I hear a show lasts for a long time, I always think to myself, why? Why is it still going? The negative answer is, okay, you know, they never let it die. I've seen some shows that are like, okay, please, time to close. This is not one of them. This is one of those shows that like it's the traditional show. It's a Christmas Carol. It's a Charlie Brown special. It's let's see it again because its message never ends. And I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing that it's here. I think it's wonderful that you're doing it and that you're picking so many different venues. You were at El Barrio at one point, you were so many others, and now you're in the middle of the Broadway district. I think it's marvelous. When is it happening? Tell our audience when it's happening.
It is happening on Friday, August 22nd at Don't Tell Mamas. The show starts at 7 o'clock. It ends at the latest 8:15 because it's a cabaret house. For tickets, you can go to my page, which is my Facebook page, which is Kevin Davis. And the link for tickets is pinned. Or you can go to my other page, One in a Million Musical Facebook page, and it's pinned there. Or I love to hear from you. You can just send me an email. My email, I'll give you this easier one. It's kevin.davis8626 8626 at hotmail.com. Drop me a line. I love to talk to people, and I can send you a link also that way. And it's easy peasy.
And if you forget all of that, just type Don't Tell Mama in a Google search and you come up with their calendar, and there it is right in front of you.
That's right.
yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and get your tickets fast because they're going just fast.
Yeah.
I thank you both. This has been absolutely marvelous. I'm excited about it, and you've gotten me more excited. To hear the passion in your voice talking about this show is absolutely wonderful. It's absolutely galvanizing. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see what happens with it. Can't wait to see its next iteration and the one after that and the one after that. And I'm looking to buy a movie ticket when they make a film out of it.
Yes.
You'll be the first person we call, Jay.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you both so much. And here's to a successful run at Don't Tell Mama for One in a Million Musical.
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.